In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most important concepts is discriminant when solving quadratic equation. Last video, we talked about how to develop quadratic formula and how to use it. This is quadratic formula, s equals negative b plus minus square root b squared for ac divided by 2a. And a, b, c is coefficient and constant for the quadratic equations. So, and beneath square root b squared minus 4c, we call it discriminant, is expression b squared minus 4c. We use a capital letter D represent discriminant, right? So expression d equals b squared minus 4c is very important because we can use it to determine how many roots or how many zeros. So look at this. If d greater than 0, there are two distinct real roots or zeros. Yeah, if you look at it here, right? If b squared minus 4c greater than 0, so negative b plus minus some value here, so it should have two distinct zeros. And also you see if d greater than 0, look at the graph, it's two zeros here, right? Very straightforward. So no matter it's open, downward, upward, as long as d greater than 0, it's two zeros distinct. If d equals 0, b squared minus 4c equals 0, take square root should be 0. So only one zeros, that is negative b over 2a, right? So if you look at the graph, so only one zeros. So no matter the open, downward, upward, as long as d equals 0, so it's only one zeros. So if d less than 0, for here, the b squared minus 4c is less than 0, so it's negative values. So you cannot take square root of negative value. So in high school, maybe in the university, you will learn that that's called virtual number, right? So if d less than 0, no real roots, which means the two parabola doesn't touch the axis. Okay, so let's move to questions. Okay, first question. So without the solving, determine number of the real roots of each equation and describe the graph of the corresponding relations. Okay, so let's solve it one by one. First one, so let's look at first one. So 3 set s squared plus 4s plus 5 equals 0. First, let us determine the ABC. So a equals 3, b equals 4, c equals 5. So we copy discriminant expression d equals b squared minus 4ac, right? So we substitute the coefficient and the constant into the expression b squared, 4 squared minus 4 times a is 3 times c is 5 is 16 minus, and 4 times 5 20, 20 times 3 is 60, so equals negative 44. So negative 44 less than 0, right? So it's no real roots, no zeros. Okay, if I draw the graph of equation, so let's roughly draw the graph. Okay, this x is y. And you know it's a equals 3, so a greater than 0 should the parabola should open up, and less than, yeah, it's d less than 0 should be no zeros, something like that, right? So it's no touch axis. So that's the first question A. Look at B. Okay, we still determine the A negative 2, B equals 7, and C equals 1. So copy discriminant expressions, b squared minus 4ac equals substitute, and 7 squared, right? b minus 4 times negative 2 times 1, and 49 minus is negative 4 times negative 2 should be 8 times 1, right? It's 57. Okay, 57 greater than 0, which means there are two zeros, right? Two real roots. Two real roots. Real roots. Two real roots. Okay, so for the graph, we roughly and graph it. This x is y. So because a less than 0, right? Less than negative 2, so it's open downward, but I have two real roots, something like that, right? These are two real roots. So that's a graph. Okay, let's look at C. And C, a equals 9, and b equals negative 12, and c equals 4, and copy discriminant expression for AC, and equals b is negative 12, right? Negative square minus 4 times 8, 9 times 4. Negative 12 square equals 144, and 4 times 9, 36 times 4 equals 444. So it's 0. Yeah. If d equals 0, which means only one real root, right? Real root, right? So 1 zeros. If we draw the graph, okay, this s, the axis. So a equals 9 greater than 0, open upward. So so it's only 1 0, which means something like this, right? Touch, just touch one. Okay, it's good. Let's go to next questions. Okay, next question is, for what value of k does the equation y equals 5s squared plus 6s plus k, which have each number of roots, right? So a, b, c. Okay, so let's copy y equals 5s squared plus 6x plus k. This is quadratic, right, equations. So a equals 5, b equals 6, right? This is 6, and this is 6, 6, what? Equals 6, right? And c equals k, right? So how many roots, real roots? So we have to find out the discriminant. Oh, okay. Let's copy discriminant expression. B squared is b squared minus 4ac. B is 6, right? 6 squared minus 4 times 5 times k. K we don't know, right? So, okay. And 36 minus 20k. Okay, this is D, right? They have one variable. So for A, two real roots. Two real roots means 36 minus 20k and greater than 0, right? If greater than 0, we solve these inequalities, 36, and we move 20k to the right, should be become positive 20k. So means 20k less than 36. So both sides divide by 20, so the k should be less than 1.8. Okay, so if k less than 0.8, so we have two real roots. Okay, that's solve B. One real root means d equals 0, right? D equals 0 means 36 minus 20k equals 0. So 36 equals 20k. Both sides divide by 20, k equals 1.8. Okay, if k equals 1.8 means only one root. So let's go C, and same thing, 30k minus 20k less than 0, right? If less than 0, 36, move 20k this side, it should be less than 20k, right? And both sides divide by 20, so it's k should greater than 1.8. So if k greater than 1.8, yeah, no real roots. So, and discriminant expression D is very important, right, for solve this problem. Okay, let's go to next question. Yeah, let's go look at this problem. First of all, read the questions. Mac went bungee jumping from the Blue Crans River Bridge in South Africa last summer. During the free fall on her first jump, her height above the water, h in meters, was modeled by h equals negative 5t squared plus t plus 216, where t is time in seconds since she jumped. A, how high above the water is the platform from which she jumped? Show that if her height touched the water on her first jump, the corresponding quadratic equation has two solutions. Explain what the solution means. Okay, here is a graph already here, right? So this is a bridge, this is a platform, it's ready to jump. This is a surface, right? Look at it, her hair touch the water surface, right? So and then the question asks you to how high above the water is platform from we jumped. How high means the here, from here to here, how high? Actually, when she's standing here, should be t equals t equals 0, right? So this is height h. It's a height above the surface. Okay, if her hair just touched the water on her first jump, if her hair touched the surface at this time, no, so h should be equals 0, right? Equals 0. So yeah, let's do it. Let's color the white one. Okay. So and let's look at A. And how high above the water is platform from which she jumped, which means t equals 0. So let t equals 0. T equals 0. If t equals 0, h equals negative 5t0, right? 0 squared and plus t, 0 plus 216 equals 216. So it's 216. How high? 216 meters above the water, right? And look at B. Show that if her height just touched the water on her first drop. If her height touched the water, it means h equals 0, right? So it's about h, that h equals 0. Sorry, let's see, h equals 0. H equals 0. So it means 0 equals negative 5t squared plus t plus 216, right? Yeah, that's the real range. So both sides multiply by negative 1. And then, okay, it should be 5t squared minus t, right? And minus 216 and equal 0. Okay, so first let's look at d, right? D equals b squared minus 4ac. Okay, d equals negative 1, right? Negative 1 squared minus 4 is a equals 5, right? Times 5 times is c equals negative 216, right? Okay, so and d here is the 1, right? This one already calculated is 4320, and this should be 4321. So d equals 4321, which means greater than 0 should be should have two solutions, right? It's two zeros. Okay, let's find out. Okay, so that's t equals this quadratic formula and equals 2a, 2 times a, 2 times a equals 5, right? Here equals 5. So 2 times 5. And the negative b equals negative 1. Negative should be plus 1, right? Plus 1 is 1. Plus minus should be, d is 4321, okay? So 1 plus minus. So 4321 take a square root. I already calculated it's 65.7, and here the denominator should be 10. So we take two values. T1 equals 1 plus 65.7 divided by 10 equals 66, right? 67. And T2 equals minus, should be 1 minus 657 divided by 10 should be negative, right? Negative 64.7 divided by 10 equals negative 6.47. Okay, T1, T2, right? So, and this T time, right? So negative is does not make sense. So we take 6.67. So which means it will take 60.67 for her and drop to the water from the bridge, right? So let's go to next. Practice makes perfect. If you are interested, you want to do it, I put two questions here, and this is the answer, right? Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.